States, and then on top of that, we got people from internationally joining on to help us out. And I was trying to tell you before we got disconnected that we have 4,000 people that register or pre-register, and our goal is to get 1,922. Now, we're not exactly sure because Guinness World Record has a lot of the data. They're going to be crunching this number throughout the night. Hopefully, we'll find out tomorrow morning. Like anything in regards to counting votes, they're really looking at everything that our participant did. But going back to just to get your opinion, if you had to kind of look at the computer science education and the education that a lot of these kids are getting in Detroit public schools, or even in education in general, could you just tell what would be the path for someone who wants to get into your field, and is computer science necessary to get into your line of work?
Well, my first opinion, or my first set of advice is the age-old advice that came from my mother and father and my grandparents before them, which is take inventory of what's in here and what's up here and combine those. Basically, figure out what you love and what you know well, combine those two things, and let that be your guide. As I stated, when I was growing up in Maryland, we loved snow days. Because in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., it's a little farther south than Detroit. We still get our fair share of snow, but the snow removal is nothing compared to what's like here in Detroit. So much of snow in Maryland, closure of the schools. And so we got a ton of snow days. That's one of the main reasons why I love weather. In addition to in the summertime, putting leaves in a big pile and kicking them around in the fall, or in the springtime as it got warmer, getting outside and being with my friends and riding my bike a little bit more and heading out on the trails a little bit more often. I loved weather. And when I was in school, when it wasn't a snow day, the two subjects that I knew best and had the most fun in science. So weather, math, science, those three things put together is what meteorology is all about. That's what worked for me in choosing meteorology as a profession. And if I had my own way, if I had all the power in the world, I'd become a professional football player. But all the other kids got a little bit stronger and faster than me. So I was sitting off and then I was out there on the field. And don't get me wrong, I still made the high school varsity team, but that was the extent of my football career.
Well, you know what? You can always have a second career because I'm pretty sure you're athletic. But hey, I don't want to take.
If I may, Ton, once you kids, and this is for the parents too, as they their children, once they discover their passion and what they know well, and they combine that and choose it in, and it can be from A to Z. It can be from anthropology all the way down to zoology, whether it's computer science, engineering, whether it can be the law, whether it can be business, whether it happens or medicine and becoming a doctor, whatever they happen to choose. After figuring that out, my parents gave me that advice when I was in high school, when I was still like a sophomore or junior in high school. Once they figure it out in the beginning or middle of high school, or even earlier, start looking around for colleges and universities that have that subject as a major. For meteorology, not every school, not every university or college has a meteorology department or has meteorology as a subject that one can major in. All right. So make sure you take the time and look for all the colleges and universities, whether it's in the United States or around the world, that feed into that subject that your students or U.S. students are interested in, and apply to all those schools. I don't care if it's 2 schools. I don't care if it's 10, 15, or 20 schools. Apply to them all and introduce yourself and say, hi, my name is Ann. I'd like to become the best meteorologist in the entire world, and I know that you have the team to help me do that, and I'd like to join you. How can we make this happen? And then listen and see what happens from there.
Andrew, if I was interviewing you, you got the job. So I think that a lot of people can learn from that. I think you mentioned 2 things that I kind of really believe in. You got to just know what you are good at. And even if you don't know for sure and you just know you're interested in it, I mean, you want to go down the path and try as hard. And if it doesn't work out, at least you gave it a try. But wherever you choose after that, you're going to still try as hard because you know what it means to try. Second of all, I think you talk about network. and being able to network with people, even at the interview, trying to make sure that you're ever building that relationship, even if you don't get the job. I think it's very important that these are things people don't really teach in school, but I think that it's just as important if you can learn that early on.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And having those people skills and being able to step outside your shell and introduce yourself to new people, that really does go a long way. Remember, students, especially if you're in high school now, you're about to go into parents as well, making those introductions, even parents talking to the school to help forge a path, or being there with the students to your own child to give them advice, it really does mean a lot, because those schools, all these educators, from the admissions office right down to the professor level to the teaching assistant level, they are there to help you. These schools, from college into graduate school, they are here to help your mind grow and help your academic career grow. That's why you have to get a good grounding about who you are and what you're interested in. That's one of the first steps. So you can go ahead, make that introduction, walk into that office, or just simply make that telephone call and say, "Hi, please tell me more about your program. And I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. Let's see if we're a good match. I think that we are. Let's see if we can work together." And that translates into the professional world. Even if you want to start your own business and become an entrepreneur, many of us, as you mentioned, are not necessarily the heirs to Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or someone like that. Many of us who are starting off from scratch will need to introduce ourselves to someone with capital, someone with money, normally a banker or a financier, to help get our idea off the ground. But just like at a university or college, they're also strangers to us, and they're looking to us to see if we know what we're talking about and we're passionate about making the world a better place with our idea. Once they see that, then they're confident in lending or granting you the money to start your business.
Yeah, true, very true. And you even if you can't find that first investor, just think about the reason why we're doing what we're doing is teaching kids computer science. And you think about one of the co-founder of Google, Sergio. He was right here in our backyard in East Lansing. His parents went to teach school here. It's off again.